Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, or should I say Rocket Robin Hood, a cartoon from the 70s, a bit before my time I must say, but recently brought to my attention, so maybe that's the name of this fella over here. Yeah, good-o. Mrs. Hood's looking alright in that as well, isn't she? Golly gosh, right, so onwards with part 2 of our wonderful space station. Right, well, before we start adding to this wonderful station and making it even bigger, I've got some suggestions from all of you from last time. The first one was to show it against a black backdrop, and that's what I'm doing here on this granite work surface. That's why the audio probably sounds a bit different to usual, and it looks rather great. It also is going to act as the much wider space than my desk for piecing all of this together because, yeah, it's going to get huge today. Okay, but we've got some amendments as well. The first one was adding the Series 26 alien Beetlezoid to the outside, who has, oh no, already taken his first victim. So another alien presence high above Brick Nottingham. A bit different, but just as sinister. So I like that idea. Because I was hooking him out, I also hooked out the spacewalking astronaut from the same series, who I've attached with this bar, so that's one of mine. And I've even added the android nurse into the inside of that one, peering out of window. I think she looks rather great as well. And you may notice I've put all the stickers on, those curved surfaces on the outside, 8 of those, and 2 on the top, one there and one on the other side. Yeah, basically caked in stickers is the usual Robin Hood MO, as you know, and they're the only ones I had enough of to really do all over the place. I had one suggestion as well, that all of these containers on the outside were to do 0G, well not 0G actually, because we're spinning here, aren't we? But 0 atmosphere experiments in. So basically you need to keep your experiment safe, so you put it in a box, but otherwise it's exposed to the outside. So that is a really good suggestion. I like that. And also, very minor one, I did fix the tile. Yes, thanks for spotting that. So if those were yours, then this is your bedoing. Right, cool. Now we need to get many more sections into this setup. So as you may recall last time, we've got 8 corner bits, which I've made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've also got 4 of the straights, being the 2 T-junction pieces for the airlocks and the 2 spaceship sort of connection docks. So we need to add into that 2 solar arrays, in between 2 more. In between the other 2, we need to add 2 communications areas, and then we need to add the actual airlocks onto the outsides of these as well. So this thing is going to be building slowly over today, and then we're going to try and mount all of it upside down on the ceiling of the Lego room. And it's already pretty big and heavy. So, yeah, fingers crossed with that. But as I said to a lot of the doubters, danger is my middle name. So I'm up for the challenge. And the only other thing I could think of doing was adding a slightly more impressive alien. Well, he's not really an alien, but he looks like one, which is the beholder that I pieced together for a combination of brick cores and bricks and pieces, because I don't want to buy the huge Dungeons and Dragons set. But yeah, I've done him a bit better with a few more in-colour pieces. But anyway, he looks rather great. So maybe he should be the alien on the space station, munching down on some tasty spaceman. Who knows? But let me know what you think of that idea as well. Or maybe I'll just keep him for some dark dungeon somewhere else. Cool, right. I suggest we get on with 2 solar arrays for going in here and here. Alrighty then, 2 solar array modules. Well, here are our standard sections, 10 long and 8 wide, and I've moved around some of the scenes now because we haven't got dead ends in any of these like we did before. They've all got to be a corridor, so everything needs to get squished to the sides, but we've got 2 beds in here, and they were wall mounted before because of the orientation of the space station as it was, but now with everyone being flung to the floor, they can actually sleep, well, in a more conventional way. So that's quite cool, and we've got the attachment point on the back wall for that one. And then on the second one, we've got the running machine. Again, people are going to have to kind of walk around that. Again, it was against an end wall before, so now it's in the middle with some screens for talking to people while you're doing your exercise. And there were A couple of points made about the fact that on the majority of these, I'd only actually attached the connection point using 4 studs rather than the full potential 8. Well, this one is an exception to that at least, so I have the maximum clutch power possible when attaching this to the ceiling. Anyway, right, there are our 2 modules. So again, we're going to attach the array to the underside of these units to make it kind of splay out from the center of our wheeled space station. And again, we're going to be using Technic plates to make that a reality. Now that means that I've also had to make the interior clear of these 4 on the outside holes, so it can take a Technic 1x6 brick as its connection point with some plates and tiles on there to make it look nice, and that just goes onto there. And then we can take our solar array, which is a great big sort of amended version of the one that came in that original set. First of all, double the length, but also changing some of the colors and so on, so it looks a bit more pretty in my mind. And that can bolt straight onto there, and hopefully when it's on the ceiling it is rigid enough to not sag too much. I mean, that seems all right in this context. We've got a bit more weight for the solar panels themselves. Now, they were an absolute bind to get. I thought I could put these pieces on my wanted list and get 8 of them relatively quickly with the amount of hauls I do, but I only managed to get 1. I thought, well, I'm going to have to go straight to sticker sheet, but those were like hen's teeth, incredibly hard to find. But eventually I went to France, where a seller was my salvation, because they had 2 sheets. I actually got let down as well by the first buyer, seller rather, when I got 2 of these. So it took me absolutely ages. So that was part of the delay in getting all of this rolling. So I needed 8 of those stickers to make this double array. Already had 8 from the original 2 sets. And this is where I got those logo stickers from all over the place as well. So brilliant. So I can add those onto 8 brand new panel pieces and populate our solar array. But we've already got the old one, so first of all I'm going to add that to the second one of these. Technic plate, Technic brick. So useful that Lego put these Technic holes on the bottom of these large pieces, because otherwise it would be very flimsy indeed, I think. And this is why this is my favourite part of the whole space station, the solar arrays, because you just look at that. It's all sort of shining, glistening and all angled like that. Just looks amazing. I think the idea of the original set was this could sort of ping off and be a satellite on its own, but I think I've got loads of different things to do satellites with, so I just think it's a good jazzy end piece. But imagine when it's got that on both sides, which won't take us long, just as long as it takes me to put all the stickers on those pieces. But the other thing that I'm adding this time that's new are some power pickup points. So basically I'm just going to have that on there, and it's just one of these Technic 2x2 plates with the axle on, and then a connector, and then one of those half Technic pins, and that is going to take the wiring that's going to take all the energy from our solar array into that central power hub. So there'll be another connection from all of this to the very middle. So I have these whizzing around as part of our setup. Very cool indeed. Right, I'm going to get those stickers on, get those solar panels on there, and we can add it to our growing Space Hulk. Ho 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 ho! Wow! It is not even done and it looks too big. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I love those solar panels. All the tanks, connections, all the gold sort of highlights and the orange bits, all the logos. That looks absolutely amazing. Wow, we are nowhere near done. We've got 4 more modules and the central hub to go. So yeah, I won't pause too much at this point, but we are going to now add 2 more bits in between here. Or, shall I do the airlocks next? Well, the airlocks are a MOC build, but they're almost perfect in the way that I did them last time. So I really don't think they need much amending at all, other than making a second one. So basically, we've got a door on the inside and a door on the outside. So basically, you can pressurize or depressurize the area in the middle for getting outside. You've got your tools there for working and so on. And it all works very well. Screen for talking to somebody while you're doing it. So that is fantastic. Now, last time I used these sort of trapdoor pieces as both of the doors, and I'm not going to do that this time. I'm actually going to change for a piece that came out since I did this, which is this lovely sort of round white flap door, which I prefer. So basically, I'm just going to change this frontage to accommodate it by moving the clips slightly closer together, and I can use some headlight bricks with some coloured lights on just to show what sort of stage of operation this particular airlock is in. So this one's red, i.e. don't open the door. So when that's on there, oh yeah, I think that looks really nice actually, bit of a contrast. So this one is pressurized at the moment, do not enter from the outside, stop light, and I've made my attachment with sticky pad on the underside of that already, just because I've recycled one of the ones that I used before with these inverted tiles, and the heights had to all sort of align with all the different modules, so they're all obviously flat against the ceiling when we get to it. So that's that one, and then I had to make a second one exactly the same. I've still got all of my spacemen and robots attached to the outside doing a bit of work, and this one's got another spaceman on his way out, probably to replace the guy who's just been eaten by the alien, and that's got one of the doors as well. And we've got green lights here saying yes, this door can be opened to get the fella out. And on both of them, because of those additional sticker sheets, I've just got a little bit of a control sort of screen above the pressurized door on the inside. So essentially I just need to go into that and clip on this door, and then we are rolling. So if you want to see how to make this a little bit more depth, then you can always look at my older video for my original space station. But basically, I think this one with the door open and this one with the door closed are already ready to roll. Let's add them to the big boy. Oh, you can see why this wasn't being pieced together on my desk. It is absolutely massive, isn't it? Wow. It looks really good against the black backdrop, but I'm not painting my ceiling black, so yeah, this will be the only time you see it looking like it's actively in space. Wow, I just love the fact that A, we've got the circular wheel, but B, we've got all of the interesting stuff hanging off the outside, so that is epic. And we haven't even got the central bit in or the last two sections, but we can remedy that by going back to the building desk and finishing this bad boy off. All right, nearly there. Two more standardized sections with the normal connection point on the back. And this one is a space kitchen, the galley, where they're making pizza, unsurprisingly, for a Lego set. Somebody looking forward to that. It's kind of being spat out like a CD, a CD player, but anyway. So we'll have that lid back on, another logo as per. And then to the bottom, we're adding our communications array, and you'll be not surprised to hear that I'm adding that with a Technic plate, this time with a couple of tiles just to make it look a bit more uniform, inverted on the bottom there. And then I can steal the dish build from the set 60433, which I liked very much, which was basically one of these kind of web-like discs with one of these octagonal pieces with all the connections on. I've added a red laser, and they've got slightly different colouring from the original. And then you get loads of Harry Potter wands, which you don't need in your city. And then you can make them into little pointy bits, which all sort of point towards the bit in the middle, kind of like a Death Star. So maybe it's actually defence and not communications. You never know. Maybe this is how we're going to fend off that huge beholder with all of its many tentacle eyes. Ugh. Right, there we go. So that can go to there. And that looks rather swanky, I reckon. Ooh, it's the SSP. Phew, they didn't find me. And then we've got it connecting to whatever that's called in Technic, and that can go on to here, and therefore it can be positioned wherever we want it to point. So I think that looks very simple, but very good. Just kind of puzzled over what on earth I could have on the fourth one, and I settled on this. I think we need some sort of big dishes, so why not do that? So there we go. And then obviously we need two. We've got a spare of absolutely everything on this space station, which I think makes sense, because if one of your comms things goes down, you've got the other one as backup, and so on. And this one has got the science lab in it. So we've got some alien rocks, some sort of analysis on the wall, and a microscope. So yeah, somebody hard at work in there. Makes more sense now with him standing on the proper floor. So we've got two of those, as well. So then the only thing that's left I'm going to do as well now is the central hub. And that's basically the X in the middle of our circle, where we've got something that contains all the power in the middle that we're sort of harvesting from the sun's rays. And then we've got some connections to brace the circle, and then also some big wires to connect up to those solar energy sources. So this is what I've got. It's kind of a hollow tube, but then surrounded by these lovely trans dark pink 1x2x5 bricks, which I just thought were brilliant. I sort of played around with using round bits like this in this pearlescent pink and so on. It just didn't look anywhere near as good as just doing it with these unbroken large pieces with a dark blue sort of surrounding it, and then the white Technic bricks separating it as well. Blue on the outside, top and bottom. So these bits will get the power in or out, I suppose, in with one pair, out with the other. And these are structural, and they will attach to the bottom of the T-junction sections, and these ones will attach to the top where we had those white bricks with the X on. So yeah, let's hope I've got all the spacing right and all of this actually reaches, because at the moment this looks way longer than this. So I'm a little worried. Well, what do you know, it fits. Oh, look at that! All of it joined together, and it is massive. That is the one overriding thing I just can't get over. I'm very nervous now, even though Danger is my middle name, of putting this on the ceiling of the new Lego room. But wow, can you imagine this sort of cartwheeling across the heavens? Because it would be spinning to create the gravity, and wow, it would just be such a sight. Those solar panels, all the logos, the splashes of sort of orange and gold, dark blue, and that pink sort of array in the middle, really sort of glowing. Actually picks out the colour in your eyes, Mr. Alien. That looks very good. I like all the tanks. Yeah, I'm glad I added all of those. That looks suitably kind of supplied. And then we've got the little scene of them doing some mending over there on that airlock. Obviously the dish, solar array, my favourite, the docking station, the alien, spacewalker, and then we're repeating ourselves. Obviously we're going to have both sets of solar panels facing the same way, so they're sort of tilting towards and they're tilting out, and then the departing, or is it arriving, little supply vessel as well. Cool. So yeah, the wires basically connect up to the solar panel pickup points and drop-off points, and that looks really quite good. And then these bits attach very, very just with a tippy toe into those pieces, and a similar one is attached in grey to the underside. But yeah, that just caps it off, doesn't it? That central section. Not too heavy. I don't want a great big sort of docking bay in the middle, because if you had it, you'd have to have great big corridors as well coming out from the centre, and then it'd be even bigger. And I definitely wouldn't try and attach that with sticky pads. So yeah, we'll enjoy this all in one piece for a little while longer before I start having to take it apart again to mount it, because I figured to get it stuck, we want to have as little weight as possible. So I think all of the stuff on the outside can come off, and maybe the stuff in the middle as well. And then I'll just focus on sticking the kind of main circle to the ceiling. I'm going to have, the old one had 6 sticky pads, and this one is going to have 8 and then 9, 10. So 2 extra ones on the airlocks. I think it will be absolutely fine. And as a lot of people mentioned, it won't be the Velcro type of connection on the command strips that gives way. If anything does, it will be the clutch power of the bricks holding on to other bricks that have got those sticky pads on. So yeah, I can always go back and add slightly more connection points if they are needed, but hopefully not. So what have I got? I've got all sorts of this range of equipment, command strips, and these are the smallest ones. They're called like stabilizer strips or something, and they're the ones I've got on the majority of the pieces. I've only got 8 left, so we're going to have to go into some slightly bigger ones. These are the small, or these ones which are the narrow, I think they're called. Anyway, they're really good. They just will not come apart, as you saw when I tried to take it off the ceiling from last time. So yeah, it's more a case of the clutch power, as I mentioned. But yeah, that looks absolutely great. All that greebling on the outside looks very good. all that detail. I mean, when you're sort of peering up at the ceiling to look at all of this stuff, it's going to be even more amazing in my mind. I'm just hoping, because we've got a slightly lower ceiling now, that I'm not sort of grazing my head against it, because I am quite tall. But yeah, lots and lots of interesting bits and scenes already, and I'm sure there'll be more scenes suggested in the comments section from this time. So yeah, this is it all in one piece. I'm now going to get sticking, and then we'll have to wait for quite a while for them to cure before I can really sort of leave the weight, on its own attached to them. So yeah, it'll take a while until our next take, but for you, it'll be a mere second. While the subscriber counter is ticking up, but we're still nowhere near our 100,000 target. I'd say we're about 37.6% of the way, which isn't that far when you think about it. So if you're interested in seeing the space station on the ceiling, then I think you're the right sort of person to become a subscriber of the channel. So why not hit that button if you think I've deserved it? Well, apologies for the inevitable glare of showing you something on a well-lit ceiling, but check that out. Wow, well, that has been an interesting first step. And Mrs. Hood is not getting a bedoing, by her own admission. We were just trying different areas on the ceiling, kind of in between 4 lights, sort of over there or wherever. And we settled on here, and then she dropped it. So, yeah. But having just built it, it was relatively quick to get it back. So I think she felt worse than I did about it. But anyway, I'm using her lovely yoga step or aerobic step or whatever it is to reach the ceiling. And I've stuck all of those pads onto the placement. And yeah, without any of the heavy outer stuff on them. And wow, it looks amazing already. Now, usually I stick it on and then kind of peel off the Velcro to allow the pad just on its own under no strain to stick securely overnight. But in this case, there are so many stickies right up here near the ceiling. Can we see any? Yeah, you can probably see them now. Essentially, well, I didn't know how to peel it off really. Without just completely destroying the whole thing in midair and me rebuilding it for another time. So, yeah, I guess it's going to cure under strain with all of this amount of weight on it. And then afterwards, I can add all of the lovely accoutrements to the outside of it, which are currently all sat over here. So, yeah, we've got the 2 bays here for airlocks. They'll be stuck on as well, but I thought it's just better to do as few as possible with the idea of peeling it off, but obviously that didn't work. So yeah, I'm happy. It looks good. It's in a quite glary place, but not too bad in between 4 lights. I kind of measured the distance between them to get them equidistant. And wow, whoa, you get the idea, don't you? So that looks amazing. And with my height at least, you can really peer into all of these windows, like the big one there and so on. Well, look at the pink sort of power hub. Very cool indeed. Right, so I'm going to leave this overnight, and then I'm going to add on all the other bits, stick them in place, and hopefully it won't come crashing down overnight. Well, it's survived a night. It is tomorrow, and everything is still very firmly attached to the ceiling. Last thing before I went up to bed, I put on the 2 airlocks as well with their stickies. They had a decent amount of curing time as well. And to be honest, the thing is absolutely rock solid up there. I don't want to absolutely take the mick and really give it a wobble in case it did come off. But yeah, it seems very firmly attached. And it should be really with 10 of those sticky pads. I think it's probably massive overkill. But anyway, I'm going to get the rest of the kit bolted onto this thing again. So we've got the full display in effect, and I think it'll look absolutely magical. Bomb, 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 da-na-na, na, 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 na. Yeah, that's enough of that. Wow, check that out. It really is like 2001 Space Odyssey. That is everything I dreamed it would be. Absolutely massive, stuck to the ceiling with loads of bits sticking off it in every direction. That is so cool. I'm really surprised at the size of it. It's actually bigger than our alien mothership, which is a good thing too, because otherwise it might come and try and smash it up, knock it off the ceiling, send it down, crashing down to Earth. Wow, it's the solar panels again. I know I keep saying it, but wow, they just add that real sort of space look and the sort of distance away from the main body of the space station. Wow, it's really big. Look, that should put it into perspective of how big it is. It's like about 5, 6, 7, 8 base plates big. That is absolutely colossal. But it looks great. And I wanted it to be something that was very viewable from everywhere in the room. And when you came in, you realise that we have got literal wall to ceiling Lego in this place. Essentially, when you come in, you'll be able to see what will be down here, the underground and underwater, surface level and all the rest of it. Loads of aircraft in the sky, all the way up to here for the space. And with all these inset lights, it almost looks like stars, doesn't it? So you can kind of imagine it. I don't think it'd be that good against a black painted ceiling. It'd be very oppressive in here as well, whereas at the moment it's a very nice bright place to work. So yeah, I think all of the colours and that dark blue pop against the white ceiling as it is. Yeah, so we've got our spacewalker there. He looks pretty cool, bouncing around in mid-air or mid-space. And there's our nasty Beetlezoid alien eating his prey. Maybe I should get another one of those now, have them infesting this thing. Yeah, but I think that pink core really does its job as well. Looks very much like what it is, the energy source. The ship taking off. I could arguably put these sort of longer trans-clear sort of poles on them, the one that I've got on the spacewalker, to make it a bit further away, or as somebody mentioned, just put it on its own sticky pad anywhere I want, which is a very good point. It doesn't have to actually be attached to the station itself. Now I've got those other ships to add to the same scene, the sort of medium-sized one and the really big one. So yeah, I'll probably do that in due course as well. And then we'll have to consider where these people are going to go and explore, because I think they are relatively peaceful, not to be confused with all of the nasty aliens, of course, and the ADU are having their own private battle over there in that corner. Cool. So, really good progress. A long-held ambition achieved. It's even better than I thought just because of its huge scale. I can't stop looking at it. I keep, whenever I go anywhere near the Lego room, I kind of peer in just to check it hasn't fallen on the floor. So we'll have to have another bingo. I mean, no one won the last one because it never fell off. But if you want to put a date for when you think this will fall off, or a time if you're very pessimistic that this will fall off, then put it in the comments section. And I'll probably send something to you if you're right. But I don't think you will be, because I don't think this is going anywhere. No, no. Love it. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. Do also give me your prediction for this falling to the Earth in the comments section, or if there's anything else that you can think of that could improve this yet further. I doubt it somehow. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks won't be next week. We'll be taking a week off of well-deserved holiday after what's been a very, interesting, let's say, not for the right reasons, start to the year. But when we come back, that will all be over and we can get back to a bit more of a normal schedule, I hope. So, until then, see you! Yeah, that is massive.